Tyler, drum roll, please.
Whoa!
It's a new segment.
Uh-oh. Oh, fuck.
So, for a while ago,
Mhm.
my previous job, some of the perks were there'd be promotional things that they would just be giving out, and they would just give out extras. And I found the most random Blu-rays I could find, and I'm like, we're gonna do these on the show for some reason. So the three options that I had were season 5 of The Flash from the CW, season 7 of Arrow
from the CW as well,
and the final season of Gotham
from Fox.
From Fox, yeah.
And
two Blu-rays, one DVD.
So we looked at it and we realized we're like, okay, now just because we're doing it this one time doesn't mean like that's it. But to choose the first one, the criteria we used is that Jake had, I think, 3 seasons of experience with Arrow.
I watched 2 seasons of Arrow.
Okay, but that's I only
Very
watched
little.
basically like 1.5 of Gotham. But basically,
and I'd only watched a handful of episodes of The Flash.
Right, and I've seen bits and pieces of the Flash show, and I've never seen Arrow. So we kind of looked at it and said, I have a lot with this, so no, and he has a lot with this, so no. So it's basically comes down to the Flash, and we did a random number generator.
From 1, so there's 24 episodes. Yep. So we did 1 to 24. We landed on episode 15 of season 5. And
what's this segment called, Jake?
I think I already said it.
I don't think we did.
It's the Out of Context Review.
Yeah.
Out of Context Review.
Out of Context Reviews.
No, I was going to go.
Out of Context
Review.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't think we'll ever top that. I need to look up the title of this episode, but
it's Gold-Faced.
Gold-Faced?
Yes.
That's just the
I
title.
remember I looked it up, and it is Iris and somebody. Barry? Iris and Barry something is the episode synopsis. Are you going to look it up and tell us what the episode synopsis is?
Yes.
Do the IMDb, man. Fuck. Well, no, we don't want to know that much about it. It was like a 1-sentence synopsis on the DVD. That's all we need. We don't want any more than that.
Wait, are you sure about that?
What?
Because the way that this is talking...
That's what I looked up in the DVD thing.
Okay. Maybe I'm on the wrong season because this is a different description. But the point is...
the season has Impulse on it on the cover. The girl in purple.
Okay. Well...
So
either way,
that's not the one you're looking at.
Yeah, we're just we have the episode ready. We're gonna watch it, and again, the whole fun of the Out of Context Review is going to be that we have really not watched anything before to give any context at all to what we're watching. We're just going to rate it on the episode itself, and we're also going to talk about. We're going to predict where we think the rest of it will go, but we'll never know because we're just going to randomize it.
We're not going to watch, We're
never going to watch we're going to watch the whole seasons, but never in order. And over several years.
Going to be a long 52 weeks.
I'm saying several years. We don't have to do it every week, every month, every day,
Are
every
you
hour,
sure?
every minute.
Are you sure?
All right, well, we're going to go watch this episode.
We're going to go... Yeah, take a little break.
If you want to watch along, remember it's The Flash season 5 episode 15. So we'll see you on the other side.
Let's make sure because you looked up season.
So Tyler,
it must be the font in the DVD materials that I thought that was 15.
The random number generator spit out the number 15.
Yes.
Tyler was looking up episode 13. So actually, what we'll be doing is episode 15, which we kind of hit the jackpot.
Yeah,
because it's King Shark versus Gorilla Grodd.
That's
is the name of the episode.
That is awesome.
And wow, we're
just gonna eat this box of Tricks Loaded while we're watching it.
Yeah, cross promotion. Get it in ya.
Get it in your mailbox,
Arnie.
Stick around.
All right, we are back.
Guess I fell in love with the shark man that I fucked. That's the episode title of the show that we watched. Apparently.
Well, because wow, okay. So this is
a little bit of context.
No, Out of Context Review.
Yeah, see, that's exactly it.
Which is a lot of fun to watch this episode because we were both being like, what? What?
Every once in a while, we would turn to each other and be like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, well, out of context.
That's the fun of the show. So, this is maybe this is episode 17. Maybe this is episode 15. I don't know.
Yeah, in the DVD materials, it's episode 17.
Blu-ray materials?
Yeah, okay. I did notice.
Home video.
Is that how I could tell if the effects were kind of slipshod? Because it was Blu-ray.
Yeah, the higher definition doesn't help.
No, granted, I think all in all, the effects were pretty good.
So anyway, we landed on
show.
the episode King Shark versus Gorilla Grodd.
Mm-hmm.
And so season 5, episode 15 or 17, who fucking knows. Again, pretty much no context at all.
We even skipped the recap because there's a recap at the beginning.
Good Lord, is every recap at the beginning of an episode that long? It was like 2 minutes.
Dude, first, okay, having never watched the Flash show, I was first of all taken aback by, and maybe it's because it was in season 5. I know they did Crisis, which
This is this season.
Oh, okay,
The Crisis thing.
All I know is that, I mean,
pretty
everybody in this show is far too laissez-faire with the fact that there's like multiple realities, like way too. Way too. This lady is helping this King Shark guy who is a doppelganger of her dead husband from Earth 2. And it's like,
What?
guess I fell in love with the shark man that I fucked. I'm going to sing it every 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's my single coming out in February.
that's what's so weird is, yeah. And we also are talking about the fact that in this Flash team, Nora Allen from the future
Yeah.
is in this. So he's with his daughter
From the future.
from the future.
And Vibe is there. And then some douchebag in a little hat.
Well, he is
Reverse Flash, I thought.
He has been, yes. And so I'm assuming this is a different version
I
of
guess.
him. Because he's got a weird accent.
Yeah, he's French
And
or
a
something.
fedora and a weird wig.
And what's her name? Killer Frost is apparently like a double personality.
She's like living inside that one girl.
I don't know.
Lady.
Sure.
It was weird. And
So
I didn't know
that's-
they all had powers. Because I think
Right,
at the
that's-
beginning they didn't. And then they slowly got powers throughout the show. I don't
guess
know. It's
so.
out of context.
I do remember like reading. I do remember reading about these shows throughout the years and reading like about the Crisis and reading because remember I used to one of my go-to websites was CBR.com.
Yeah.
Comic book resources. And I can't remember the last time I was on that website or crack.com. I used to go to
use
those
it
sites
sometimes for prep.
Well, I used to go to those sites all the time, and I would just see like headlines, and it would kind of tell me what's going on, sort of in the Flash shows and the Arrowverse, as it was called, and whatnot. So I kind of do have a little bit of context from that, but it struck me how everything was really dramatic. You know, even the jokes were like, yeah, that's right.
It was. I said it was a superhero soap opera.
It is. There was a point where there's 4 people in a room, and the first person says something, then they turn to the next person, they say the next thing, and then the third, and then they end on the Flash, and he's looking off into the distance. He could control the whole city. And it was like, wow, Days of Our Lives.
Yeah. So the episode is about they're trying
40 minutes long.
Cicada is the big bad this season.
I guess.
I don't know. Also, it is funny because it's it's written like a weekly episodic show,
Yeah.
so they understand that some people might not know what the hell they're talking about. Because at one point, Iris's dad, he's talking to her. He's like, "So apparently, you guys are stuck in a time loop."
Yeah, and it was like, what?
And again, even in that moment, he is so used to it. Living in Central City and the multiverse shit where he's like, so you were in a time loop, I get it.
So yeah,
it fucking happens.
I happened to me shit. I was taking a shit this morning and got stuck in a time loop.
Which is so weird about this world, but it's so
these are the
funny
types
to me.
of shows. These types of shows that are so intertwined, like not sitcoms, not like 30-minute sitcoms. Although Arrested Development would be a good show for this type of segment. But yeah, these types of shows that are like really dense and like you can't just jump into a show.
No, this is why it's fun.
This is why it's fun, dude. Because it's like, huh?
Because half the time you and I are trying to and that's what we intended this to be. Because we were trying to like, first of all, we predicted it straight out the gate.
Yeah.
So it is written in such a traditional superhero style that I knew every single beat that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I said, because they're trying to find this cure for cicada, but they're not going to use it as a weapon. They want to test it out. King Shark is Shay something. And he was hanging out with the marine biologist that was married to a dead version of him in another universe.
Yes. Right?
And,
already, does your head hurt?
And so they can communicate, but he's got to wear this special crown that can hear their thoughts. And it's like a psychic
feedback and stuff.
Yeah.
And he runs away, and they have to catch him.
So I know the episode title is King Shark versus Gorilla Grodd. So I'm like, well, obviously Gorilla Grodd's mind controlling him, or trying to, or whatever.
And also, but
then they cure him, and he turns into a human. And I go, he's gonna be. You and I both were like, he's gonna be a shark by the end of this episode.
He's not gonna fight him with his mind.
It's the most.
I'm a dude, and I'm gonna fight a 800-pound gorilla.
Which is funny about
torn apart.
And we're not. I want to make it very clear. We're not docking the shows at all for having their own continuity and their own serialization. Like the fun of this and the silliness is, like you said, you can't really watch these shows in a bottle. You can't.
No.
I think they're like, I don't know. I feel like they've said in the past there's a few episodes that are kind of like bottleneck episodes, but
sure. I mean, every show when you have 24 episodes to fucking watch,
tied to Arrow and tied to all this other stuff.
In fact, one point they referenced Oliver Queen. Oh,
I would love to try and do an out of context review for Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes,
because I've heard that one's actually fun. No, I will say this: this show is not like, it's okay. It's a very okay show. I don't hate it. I don't think it's bad, but there are definite levels to it, and it's like, this was clearly a show made for a CW audience.
Yes.
It's clearly made to be...
It's young, good-looking people.
A younger, more broad version of the character, right? But at the same time, it's weird because there's so much gobbledygook dialogue in this, where it's like all this really nerdy shit that when you think about it, it's like they're just throwing shit together.
Yeah, they don't even know the words they're talking about.
And it's part of the genre. I'm not hating on it for that either. I'm just saying it's like, it's funny that it's written in two ways, where one is trying to be as broad as an audience as possible, but then also have this like just nonsense dialogue. And some of the lines, I was like, oof, that's a CW line. Like, it's a superhero soap opera.
Yeah.
That being said, I think the effects for the budget of the show aren't that bad.
The effects are pretty good for the budget.
There's a couple shots where you're like, yeah, this is a cheap,
Sure, when it was raining and Grodd was on the top of the
Well, and that's the thing. This is the 5th season of the show. They understood that, like, okay, if we're going to do it in a lower light. And then, yes, we'll have it rain. So, because King Shark's going to look better with water on him. So let's have it rain. And, and I get it. I understand those choices. And honestly, the fight between Gorilla Grodd and King Shark didn't look that bad.
No, it was pretty good.
It's a pretty solid looking fight.
Pretty solid looking
I was
fight.
able to see everything.
There were clearly a lot of I would guess, I don't want to say clearly, but I would guess that there were a lot of practical things that were done, and then they CGI'd stuff into those, like they actually like knocked down like a fence. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Not all the time, but I'm willing to bet that some of the things were practical. That makes it look that'll make your effects look better. If you have a completely CGI'd character and you have them knock down a wall that's also CGI, that's really fucking fake. But if you can somehow like have something go through that wall, like a real built wall, and film that and then CGI something into it, that looks way cool.
Yeah.
That looks way more real. And that's the like when they were falling through the floors, that looked like they did something.
Yeah, that looked a little bit more practical.
Right. And then they just CGI'd in the shit afterwards. Like they dropped like a big heavy weight.
And honestly, the big scene where Barry and Nora are running together and it's like slow motion for a little bit, I didn't think it looked bad. I thought it looked okay.
I think they had some stock footage that they reused from time to time when they show them them running through the city.
Yeah.
And honestly, I had no problem with that because it helps save the budget.
And I don't mind the top-down shots of him like bolting around.
Not at all.
I understand because you're trying to save money, and it's like there's an easy way to show
fucking
passage.
Cheap as fuck, dude.
Easy way to show passage of time, and I can follow it. I know but like some of those shots are fine. And there's some shots like when King Shark grabs
Vibe.
It's like oof. Yeah, but
little rough. But
again, you also have to think this is a CW show on a CW budget.
What's your level of like disbelief? And your level of disbelief is a lot lower.
It's just the show is so. I think it's too corny. I think for me, and
I can't do like I had I lived with somebody who watched a lot of NCIS.
Yes, it's got those kind of vibes. Yeah.
I can't
serialized television.
I cannot do the CBS drama, dude. I cannot fucking do it. I can't do the whole really good looking people with problems that I don't give a fuck about.
I can't watch Law and Order and
Law and Order's good because it's like actually like
no, but I watched too much SVU back in the day, man.
SVU is a little bit different, but like the original Law and Order was good because they actually used procedural stuff. But yeah, it's all dramatic. It's all dramatized. You know, it's just the level of drama that you're looking for, right? Like NCIS, CSI, the original CSI, or CSI Miami.
Yeah.
Those shows are so like just off fucking kilter and just they're not even. I imagine it must be fun to write for those shows because you're like, I really don't have to worry too much about believability.
Yeah.
You know, I can just fucking kind of go off, which is fun. But when I liked the original Law and Order, the first like 20 seasons or whatever, because they actually, it was as realistic as you could be with a drama, I guess, more procedural and whatnot.
But then you have things like King Shark defeating Gorilla Grodd and Flash saying "Long live the king." No, and honestly, again, I love that there was a pulpy like kaiju fight at the end of this episode because it's promising. Like with a name like that, it's telling you they're gonna fight.
You better fucking have a goddamn.
And it looked fine. I think it looks pretty good for a CW show. So yeah, props to them. It was an entertaining episode. But again, this is the same reason I stopped watching. Because I keep saying again. I watched bits and pieces of the first season. I watched like maybe 2 seasons of Arrow.
I've seen bits and pieces of almost every CW like superhero show except for I think Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I know of it. I know enough of it to know what it's about and who's in it. I've never seen any Stargirl. I don't think that show would be because it always occurred to me like why didn't I watch like Smallville? Because like Legend or like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Those are 2 TV shows that had live action versions of characters that I grew up loving in comic books. But for me, just going like I can Google like the image of like what Hawkman looks like in Smallville or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch the whole show or arc, you know?
Yeah.
And honestly, I can't sit and watch through those fucking arcs because it's so dramatic.
Yeah.
You're just so
especially
overwrought.
Smallville because it's like a teen drama.
Yeah. So,
but
again, it's great eye candy because again, everybody in it is good looking, which is great.
Yes. Yeah, that is funny because it, like I keep saying, superhero soap opera is what it feels like, and you know what? People say that pro wrestling is a soap opera.
It is.
I like that, so I'm a sucker for that shit. Like there are parts of this episode that I really liked, and I think were pretty successful, and then there are other parts where I'm like, oof, and so much of it feels like filler, and because they're making 24 episodes of a 45-minute television show.
Yes,
like, ugh. It's rough, but it is what it is.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.